Welcome to Fine Woodworking News for April 12th. I'm Ben Strano, and none of you guessed what was in the squeezy bottles. We'll talk about that in a little bit. First, I want to remind everyone, Michael Cullen's e-learning course is starting today for surface carving. You still have a couple of weeks to sign up if you want to sign up. So head on over to finewoodworking.com/e-learning to get more information. And while you're there, find out more information about Mike Pekovich's Furniture Design for Woodworkers course. It's beginning to end, his process, the whole shebang, weekly Q&As, really in-depth course. It's awesome for those of you who don't feel creative when you're woodworking and you want to maybe get a little bit more of yourself in your work. And if you do feel creative in your woodworking, Mike's techniques are going to help you focus that creativity and make sure the things that you're building are the things that you want to be building. I really think it's a fantastic course. All right, squeezy bottles. Sorry, nobody won the unlimited membership, but we have another giveaway that we're going to do this week. We're going to be giving away a book, and it's going to be a heck of a lot easier to win this time. So worry not. This is Sabine. Lie down. All right, first one, water. Windex. It's labeled denatured alcohol. It is grain alcohol. 50% seal coat and grain alcohol. Straight up seal coat. And an empty bottle, if there's anything in this, wipe on polyurethane. No one won, but later on, you'll have another chance. Let's talk about tools. IsoTunes announced Air Defender AM/FM hearing protection. If you're like me and you like to listen to the radio every now and then in the shop and you want to keep it going when you have your hearing protection in, here you go, $69.99. I'm hoping, though, someday somebody comes out with AM/FM. Why are we still doing AM? Can we just do FM Bluetooth? Can I trade AM for Bluetooth? Heartwood Tools selling Clark Kellogg's extra fancy depth gauge. I love this. Clark is a phenomenal furniture maker down in Houston, Texas, and he needed a nice depth gauge. He made one. People loved it, so he's made a bunch of them. And if you're the type who likes to support small independent tool makers, furniture makers, this is a great tool to pick up. If you are the type who does a lot of dowel joinery, or if you're doing a lot of mortise and tenons and you need to check the depths on mortises, whatever. Extra fancy depth gauge. Come on, you need one. This is Highland Woodworking, but we'll also have a link for Woodcraft and Rockler because they all posted about it this week. The Tormek T8 Black 50th Anniversary Special Edition Sharpening System. It is a T8 Tormek, and it's super cool looking and just in black and looks like it's from the Planet Mandalore. This is the way. DeWalt announced a 20-volt max brushless, cordless belt sander. I said last time I don't cover a lot of cordless tools because they're not really for woodworkers. Well, I'm a liar. Okay. So this is one, it is a 3x18, so it's a smaller belt sander, but if you do a lot of work, cabinet installs or anything like that, a lot of scribing work, this is a must-have, a tool like this. And also, sometimes in my shop, I just don't feel like dragging out the cord. And if I had a cordless option, I'd grab that first. So if you're in the DeWalt ecosystem, there you go. And if you're in the Metabo ecosystem, Metabo has announced an 18-gauge cordless brad nailer and a 23-gauge cordless pin nailer. And I truly believe woodworkers need two nailers, 18-gauge, 23-gauge. And it's really good to see that cordless manufacturers are starting to pick up on the pin nailer. Don't think all the manufacturers have a brad nailer and a pin nailer, but I think if I was buying a new battery system, I would only buy one that had both of those style nailers. And now, if you're in the Metabo system, boom. Question for you all. Felder sent out an email saying that they're going to be in LIGNA, and I had no idea what that was. LIGNA is the big woodworking machinery fair in Hanover, Germany. This year it's going to be from May 15th to May 19th. And I'm curious, are these like big events for woodworkers, for you know, hobbyist woodworkers like myself? Fine Woodworking goes to AWFS and IWF here. I don't see a lot of hobbyists there. There's starting to be more, but I'm curious. Let us know in the comments if you're a hobbyist and if you plan on going to a show like LIGNA. If you do, let Felder know that we said hey. All right, giveaway time. Well, I have 2 books that never leave my shop. One of them is a Lutherie book. And the other one is a woodworking book. I have a bunch of woodworking books in the house, but in the shop, one of them never leaves. And I'm going to give you a peek. And it is this book right here. This book. And if you can guess what book this is that never leaves my shop, because it's a gotta have reference for me, we'll send you a copy of this book. And I'm even going to make it easier for you. I will tell you the publisher, published by Taunton Press. I will tell you that it was made in, I'll say in the last decade. It was written and published in the last decade by Taunton Press. First person to guess in the comments below wins a copy. Let's see. Woodcraft uploaded a bunch of stuff from Carter this week. And one of the standouts to me was that this is a 125-inch bandsaw blade. I'm sure it comes in other sizes, but it's specifically made for green wood cutting. So if you're a bowl turner or something like that, and you're cutting, you know, making green wood rounds to rough out on the lathe, boom. I didn't know that there were specific greenwood blades. Super cool. For the turners in our lives, there was a bunch of Carter turning tools uploaded, but this is something that I think is super cool. It's like guitar players having a signature Les Paul model. Ron Campbell's signature tool combo from Carter. I love the fact that turning companies really reach out to these monster wood turners and say like, hey, what do y'all need? What can we do specifically for what you do? And I think it's really cool that wood turners have like the celebrity status and they get signature tools. So it's different. Us flat woodworkers don't do that much. Also on Woodcraft, Sorby is selling a modular micro resin pen set. And one thing that stood out to me about this is it's a 2 or 3-piece set. It's the handle, then a carbide tool, and a high-speed steel gouge. And I don't know if I've seen combo tools like this that actually have a traditional style gouge. So it was really cool to see that, and it's pretty affordable. And so if you've got a small lathe you're looking to get into pen turning, there you go. Listen, I'm a geek. I can geek out about all sorts of stuff. One of the things I geek out about is pencils. I'm a pencil snob. I like black wings. I support other people geeking out however they see fit. This is the next level though. For those of you who are obsessed with pica markers and pencils and things like that, here's a pica set. And it comes in a mini sustainer because everyone needs a sustainer for their writing implements. Grizzly announces a really familiar looking kind of tool. This looks like a one-way style, Wolverine style sharpening jig, but there was something new to it. And when I saw this slot on the tool rest, I couldn't figure out what it would be for. So I thought, okay, this is a one-way, you know, style tool rest. Then there's this on their website, and it's basically a angle attachment for like a skew chisel. If you want to perfectly dial in a repeatable angle on your skew, there you go. Woodpeckers. At first I thought, what is this thing? And then the more I looked at it, the more I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. A little stand to mount your sander to. But if you're doing lots of small projects, lots of, maybe you're making jewelry or making things for crafts fairs, whatever, this would come in real handy. So for $80, looks like a beefy stand for mounting any sander with a round section to mount it to. So check it out. And last but certainly not least, Blue Spruce is selling a new honing guide. It looks like something out of the Rocketeer, which is always a good thing to say about things. It's got a built-in or a included measuring device, offset device, whatever you want to call it. It works for blades 1/8 of an inch wide to 1.5 inches wide. So mostly for chisels, There's some small plane blades that would probably fit in there. But even my number 3 is too big to fit in an inch and a half. But if you want a dedicated chisel honing guide, there you go. Check it out from Blue Spruce. That does it for this edition of Fine Woodworking News. Again, guess what this book is, and you'll win a copy if you're the first one to guess. If you have any questions or comments about the items you see in this edition of Fine Woodworking News, leave them in the comments below. Get the conversation started. It helps everything. It helps the YouTube algorithm. It helps the conversation happen. And if you need to, you can send me an email at woodworkingnews@taunton.com, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one, y'all.